Weird News Weekly with Ben and Reid.
Reid, you found out news about a food that is going through a bit of a shortage at the moment, and I find this kind of hard to believe because so many people say they don't like this particular food, so how are we possibly going through a shortage of this?
Well, that was sort of my questioning as well, because, I mean, it's the first thing you always have. What do you have on your pizza? I have ham. What don't you have? Anchovies.
Yeah.
So how on earth could this food be going through a shortage at the moment? It seems a bit bizarre, but apparently it's an actual thing. Okay. Now, this has happened over the coast of Italy, of all places. Now, it's caused by a species of jellyfish called, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong, because listen to how it's spelt. It's spelt Mnemopsis. Okay, that's the first word. I reckon it's pronounced Mnemopsis. Mnemopsis. It's spelled M-N.
Yeah, sure.
What word is... Anyway, it's spelled Mnemopsis, and then the next word is L-E-I-D-Y.
Mm-hmm.
Lady? Mnemopsis lady. Sounds a bit... I mean, what is that word? Mnemopsis lady.
Sounds like you're describing someone who's like, I don't know, a lady of the night or something like that.
It sounds weird to describe this as a species of fish. But apparently it's a species of comb jellyfish called Mnemopsis lady.
Uh-huh.
So what's been happening is they've been eating all the anchovies, and unfortunately that's caused a bit of a shortage of the anchovy variety.
Now, you said that Australia is suffering a lot from this, or we're causing this or something. Australia's involved somehow. What's Australia's whole thing here?
So the whole shortage thing, granted that's a fact, all right, we can accept that that's happening. Mm-hmm. But this other thing I came across with this story had me a bit like, what? Seriously? Listen to this. According to a 2012 report by the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, sure, they're a thing, Australia is Italy's second largest export destination for anchovies.
Oh, wow.
No, but this is where it gets a little bit weirder. In 2010, Italy exported 3,700 or just over 3.5 ton of anchovies. 10% came to Australia.
Ooh.
So 10% of that 3.5 ton of anchovies came to Australia.
So we really like our anchovies, even though most of the people that you talk to will say that they hate anchovies.
I thought it was like a niche food group, you know? That's something for the hipster generation to be having on some sort of, smashed avocado. Oh, yes, I like my anchovies on smashed avocado.
Well, because, I have tried anchovies before. This is a while back now. But from what I remember, it's basically just salty, briny, mushy fish taste. And, who really wants that?
Yeah, I almost spat in my mouth when you described that. But I mean, I just find this whole situation bizarre because, I mean, we have spoken before about food shortages, specifically the one about Nutella. Mm. I think we can both understand that was absolutely always going to happen when the whole Nutella donut craze was a big thing. And then that happened, and now this sort of thing happens. So I think I just can't see it actually being a thing. But apparently it's actually a thing where there's a shortage of anchovies of all things.
Wow.
It just doesn't make sense. I mean, I always go to the supermarket and I'll go to get some tuna or fish or that sort of variety. And then down on the bottom shelf are the anchovies. And I think that's where they belong. They belong on the bottom shelf. They don't belong at eye level.
Now, when you think about this, though, kind of in a logical way, as far as why we would be getting so much bulk quantity of anchovies sent to Australia, I guess we do have a rather large European population here in Australia that have migrated from certain areas of Europe, such as Italy, for example. And if people from Italy really love their anchovies, then we do have a lot of Italians here, so I guess they'd want their anchovies here in Australia as well.
So maybe they're the ones who are having all the anchovies, because I mean, I don't see this happening at any barbecues anytime soon. Put some shrimp on the barbie, even though we don't have any shrimp on our barbies. I mean, will we be having anchovies on our barbies? I don't know. But this is the other thing I came across this story. Now, that weird word I described earlier, Mnemopsis lady, apparently it's actually not harmful to humans, but it is very harmful on the local ecosystem.
Right.
So that's an environmental thing for all the environmentalists out there. That it's harmful to the environment, but as far as humans go, it doesn't affect us whatsoever. But it affects the poor little anchovies.
So will they be trying to cull these Nemotsis ladies?
Well, funny you mentioned that. I had a look across the articles, and they're not doing a damn thing about it. It seems they're just waiting for it to sort of die before they actually do anything about it. So, I don't know. Maybe they should be looking into it, especially if it's affecting the massive amount of anchovy shortages across Australia.
It's funny how they're just like, oh, there's this thing that's killing off all our anchovies and it's one of our biggest export products here around Italy. And they're just like, what are we going to do about this situation? Some guy at the end of the table is just like, I don't know. Just, I don't. When someone thinks of something, we'll fix it. But for now, we'll just sit here. That's fine.
Sounds like the Australian government about anything to do in Australia.
It's a very lackluster approach to, get one of their biggest export products back on track.
It's very much the case of, we'll just wait and see. The wait and see approach. It never does anything any good. Actually come up with something, not the wait and see approach.
I mean, I guess in comparison to one of our biggest export products here in Australia that we send out to other countries, I really don't think there's ever going to be a shortage of Tim Tams. So I think we're okay as far as our export product is concerned. But if it was a more natural product that came from the oceans around Australia or something like that, then, we might be in trouble, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. Because I think whenever Americans come over to Australia and they have Tim Tams and they go back to their home country of America, they're devastated to think that there's no such thing as Tim Tams in America. So maybe they need to think about that for anchovies. That, if you have it once, you've got to go back and have more again. But you won't be able to now with the anchovy shortage of 2016.
It's funny how you think of certain countries and you're just like, okay, what food goes with that particular country? What are they famous for? And you look at somewhere like Italy and it's just like, okay, gelati and pizza. And then you look over at like the UK or something and it's like steak and kidney pies. Then you go to Scotland and it's like haggis. That's the big one over there. And then it's just like, okay, Australia, what are you most popular for? Tim Tams, Lamingtons, and Pavlovas.
Every single time. It's nothing ever any different. So that's what we're famous for.
Exactly. If you'd like to read more about this story and get some knowledge about the whole anchovy crisis that's going on, if you're an anchovy fan, we'll post the details on this story at the Twitter and Tumblr accounts, at Weird News Weekly on Twitter, weirdnewsweekly.tumblr.com as well. You can leave us a voicemail there too and tell us your thoughts on the story.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to rate and review the show on iTunes and follow on Twitter and Tumblr for more details on the covered stories. Just search Weird News Weekly. You can also be part of the show and give us your opinions on a story by sending a voicemail via the SpeakPipe app, or just click the voicemail link on the Tumblr page. Spoken by Sarah D and sped up like this because we like the way it sounds on the government ads.